In a world reshaped by disruption and driven by innovation, one summit has stood at the forefront of transformation. The Times Group ET Now Global Business Summit. Since 2015, this prestigious platform has brought together the brightest minds, visionary leaders, policymakers, and global pioneers to chart the course of business and society. With India's Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi as a guiding force, GBS has ignited bold conversations, unveiling groundbreaking strategies that drive progress and prosperity. As GBS 2025 takes center stage under the theme Evolve, Emerge, Expand, the world's foremost thought leaders explored the seismic shifts shaping the global economy and shed light on how can nations adapt. How can businesses thrive? How do we expand possibilities in an interconnected world? This is where the future is reimagined. The 9th edition of the Global Business Summit was graced by the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi. The event also witnessed the presence of heavyweight politicians like Minister of Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Goyal, Minister of Communication and Development of North Eastern Region, Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia.
साथियों, आज हमारी पॉलिटिक्स भी परफॉर्मेंस ओरिएंटेड हो चुकी है। अब भारत की जनता ने दो टूक कह दिया है, टिकेगा वही जो जमीन से जुड़ा रहेगा। सरकार अपनी तरफ से देशवासियों में विश्वास बढ़ाने के लिए पूरी शक्ति से काम कर रही है।
India has always been at the forefront of trying to support global peace, global prosperity, dialogue, diplomacy, and through the last 10 years, I think India's own position around the world has significantly upped what we had inherited in 2014.
We started with the Bharat 6G vision document that was released by PM in late 22, and that is ubiquitous connectivity. Connectivity for all. That's already been accepted. We have a target of contributing 10% of the patents to 6G, of which, let me tell you, Navika, we are among the top 6 nations today in terms of contributing patents to 6G as we sit today.
In this episode, meet the Vijay Karya, Chairman and MD Ravin Group, in a very special one-on-one interview with ET Now, followed by an interesting panel discussion.
We're at the Global Business Summit 2025, and I'm in conversation with Vijay Karya. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. How's the summit treating you so far?
Very well.
So the recent 75th anniversary of the Ravin Group took home the theme and drove home the theme, taking a sustainable India to the world. Right? So what does that theme mean? How did you hone in on it? And how would you ultimately characterize the extent to which it's resonated with the broader public?
You're trying to deep dive into our thought process,
yes,
and we appreciate it. We've always been a country where the citizens have been very proud of the country.
Sure.
And we especially have been proud of India. In fact, our group started in the year 1950, the year our Constitution was born and brought into existence. And therefore we resonate with India, and particularly with the great amount of pride. Kind of tried to take India to the world in many ways.
Sure.
We've been exporting, I would say, from last about nearly 30 odd years out of the 75. And we are the only company in this sector, in this field, who has a manufacturing facility outside India. And between our factories in India and the factory outside India, we export to about 100 countries. Therefore, we are in actuality taking India to the world. And when we were thinking of this, we said that let's celebrate a set of people who have taken India to the world. And we honed in on a lot of people who not only took India to the world, but then a lot of people have also been propagating the field of sustainability. And what we need to do, because we are seeing, Delhi, where we are today, is suffering a lot from pollution, and we are perhaps living in the most toxic atmosphere
Possible.
Where from the time we are born, we are inhaling quite a lot of fumes, which we should not be. We can avoid it.
Right.
And therefore, we said, let's drive home this theme of sustainability as well as business. So all this resonated with our thought process that let's take a mixture of everything, a set of people who've been innovating, a set of people who've worked hard to take India outside India and propagate the name of India across the world, and the people who've helped sustain and who are driving home the sustainability factor, the green factor. So it's something that we decided, and it resonated with a lot of people, and I would say that it was a roaring success.
Well, sir, we congratulate you on that journey. And now that you've looked back, if I could ask you to fast forward for a moment and look ahead, right? Sir, when we look at India's sustainability mission and vision, when we look at that drive to become, a little more Atmanirbhar by way of renewable energy and solar energy, where do we stand in our journey? How much progress have we made? How might you characterize where we currently stand?
I would say that we've made a lot of progress. We're today the third largest generator of renewable energy across the world, and especially solar energy. And this drive is growing. We can see that there are a lot of new projects coming up. Atmanirbhar Bharat, Viksit Bharat. And what I'm particularly pleased about is the government is walking its talk about Make in India. As an industry, we have seen, as a company also, we've seen that, we used to drive slogans. And we used to say that, okay, Make in India, or, support the local manufacturing, but that never resonated, or that never resulted into action.
Right.
This time around, it is. And we are seeing this, that the government is clean and clear about supporting the local industries. And we are seeing the PLI scheme, and we are seeing various schemes which are working to drive this. As far as renewable energy and solar energy goes, well, today I think the government is talking about having 500 gigawatts of solar energy, and they've got the Praman Patras, or the promissory notes signed,
right.
And this target is by 2030. So there's a lot of infrastructure happening. A lot of plants across the country are being built from grassroots level, greenfield projects,
right.
For electronics, for solar panels, for high-end technologies. And we're particularly pleased that, one of the recipients of our Prajot Award, Prajot Bharat, which we conferred upon Dr. Mashelkar, who is, very well decorated and renowned gentleman who's had 51 doctorates, and he is driving the renewable energy force, green hydrogen as well as renewable energy force in India. And I think India is going to come to a position very quickly, perhaps in less than 5 years, where we'll see that India is just the best in the world in terms of everything that we can see, the technology, the costs, as well as the consumption.
Well, sir, then let's take it a step further and talk about some of the initiatives that you've perhaps championed internally within the four walls of Ravin Group that you are particularly proud of from a sustainability point of view.
I would say that, first, we started in 2006, where you said that we need to reduce the losses
right.
of electricity. And if you see, honestly, the word energy is changing to the word electricity. Sure. We keep talking about energy, but it's all about electricity now.
Right.
And the amount of electricity that we lose, or we were losing earlier, was more than what we were, at least more than 50% of what we were generating, and that was huge losses.
Right.
So one of the first things we did is that we said that how do we reduce these losses, and then we migrated to extra high voltage. That was a relatively new concept which we started in 2006.
Sure.
And we brought in a lot of electricity into city, especially in Mumbai, and with a concept called urban transmission, where you save. So a penny saved is a penny earned. A unit saved is a unit earned. And then subsequently we started solar, and we started solar bang with tracker technology, where tracker technology is something where the panels move with the sun, and therefore it generates somewhere between about 30% to 50% plus extra electricity, extra number of units from the same number of panels from the same setup. Sure. Because the panels move with the sun, and they are able to get more out of the sun, so steal more from the sun. Mm-hmm. That's what has been our slogan. So we started the second part with the solar technologies. Then the third part that we saw was that we were losing a lot in terms of fires in the country, and we were importing almost all our cables for the highly specialized projects. For example, Delhi Metro 1, which was there, was almost entirely with imported cables, and just now the Mumbai Metro Line 3 that has been commissioned entirely with our products. So we decided that let's innovate and invent where we can stop these fires, we can reduce these fires, and we can reduce the number of deaths that are caused due to fires, because the number of deaths that we have in our country due to fires is almost about 73 deaths a day. And that's a huge number.
Unjustifiable. Yes.
Unjustifiable, the kind of property that we lose because of it, and the kind of setbacks that we have because of it.
Right.
So we've been innovating all along, and even, of course, you can understand that a fire, and as you've seen in the US and California, the fires that have devastated not just the forests but also the homes and the dwellings, the establishments, but more importantly, the environment. Right. You know, the kind of smoke and the kind of losses that you have because of this is something which we can avoid.
All right. Well, sir, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Some very inspiring words there, a lot of very tangible takeaways, and we wish you all the very best for what lies ahead.
Thank you very much, Pooja.
Next in line was a very interesting panel discussion where Manjunatha DV, founder and managing director at Emmvee Group, opined on the topic of economic trends in business sustainability and their implications. He also gave an insight about his company, Emmvee Group. Take a look.
We as a Emmvee started about more than 3 decades ago on this industry. Started with solar water heater business and moved to the solar photovoltaic module manufacturing. Now we are also producing solar cell TOPCon technology. Presently we are having about 5 gigawatt of module capacity and 2.5 gigawatt of cell capacity of TOPCon. And we are ending up with this year end by 10 gigawatt of module capacity. See, Emmvee is always a innovation and also see that how we can contribute something to the society. That is how I started my career. That is how we have entered into this business. So with this, we are contributing to the net zero situation.
In the path or in the process of kind of growing in your organization, what are some of the good international organizations you have collaborated with? Would love to hear some of those global stories.
See, when I started, I always wanted to look into the clean and innovation. This is the more importance we are given. That is how we adapted the technology initially from the US, where even in India, no one is using automatic taper stringer. We are the first company who was introduced that. So that has been followed earlier. Everything people used to do the manual one. Not only that, even when it comes to the present technology of TOPCon and modules manufacturing or the cell technology, we are the first who adopted that one. Even on international certificates like IAC, which is no laboratories available in India. So we used to send to the Europe and get it the certificate. We are the first company who's got. And also apart from that, we have to highlight one thing is that the QA PVL is the international body who test the almost all modules across the world. I think they are testing in a year more than 500 companies' products. They are going to do that. In that, out of 4 companies in the world, in India only Emmvee company has been passed all the tests. This is what we do the innovation and also to ensure the durability of the product. Apart from that, to further innovation and to go to the next level, we have had a long-term tie-up with Fraunhofer, that is a German university, where they will going to be handhold for us next couple of years to see that how the new technology evaluation is going to be there. In our manufacturing also, we have done almost 90% of automation, and I think we adapting very close to manufacturing 4.
And as you've seen kind of international collaboration, and you spoke about some certification and automation in your own business, so to say, how do you see the rest of the ecosystem developing? I mean, is there limited progress or adoption? Is there a massive interest? Is it a mixed bag? How do you see the ecosystem evolving?
No, ecosystem is, we have to thank to the ministry.
Wow.
So really it has been developing in all levels. We are really, especially I can say about last 5 to 7, 8 years, the Indian renewable energy or the net zero concept. See, the first we thought that when we PM announced that by 2030 we need to reach 500 gigawatt of renewable energy, everybody is thinking that what we are talking in the air or something. So, but now it is becoming a reality. In the similar manner, by 47, we wanted to have a net zero. I don't see there is going to be reality because reasons are many. It is not just because of one side the government push, and the another one is it is becoming economically viable, and also it is going to be give us a green and reliable source of power, and that adding to the, especially when there is a schemes like PM Kusum scheme or Surya Ghar Yojana, this all helping the in the rural areas people also to come into the modernized systems. Even you have a good gadgets and everything will be there. If there is no power, if there is no network, so what will be? These are all helping them to grow faster.
Thank you so much. And with that, we come to the end of the session. Thank you so much.
Hello, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to this insightful conversations here at ET Now, where we delve into the ideas shaping industries, businesses, and our sustainable future. Today, we have with us a leader in India's clean energy revolution, Mr. Manjunatha DV, founder and managing director of Emmvee Group. Welcome.
Thank you, Poonam.
Okay, without further ado, we'll dive directly to the questions and the conversation. So, starting off, if you could share the story of how the company was founded and its evolution into a global leader in solar PV technology.
Yeah, thank you. So, I have some childhood ambition to start some industry. That is how even I may become graduate. I always thinking what should be my next goal of business which I need to be do. So in the 90s, there is a huge power cuts in part of southern part of India. So where the people used to struggle a lot to have the hot water baths or the getting the because of the power cuts. So then I tried to find out what could be the right product. Then I found out solar water heater will be the right product for us. That is how I started in 92. Then we moved up to 2006, the hot water business we are able to reach into certain level. Then I thought what could be next? The next is came into the solar photovoltaic models. It is also not very much aware in the Indian market. Those days people used to know only solar street lights or solar lanterns or something. They really not known it can also generate a power to supply to the grid. So even though we took a challenge and adopted the technology from the US, we imported all equipments and manufactured the solar models with 15 megawatt of capacity. And we know that there is no much market in India, but we know that there's a market is huge available in European countries. So we are able to get all the certifications required to meet the European standard and started the supplies to the European until 2014, until the Indian market started. That is how we have started the journey with 15 megawatt of module manufacturing. Today we are about 5 gigawatt of module capacity. We have grown into the small level and reached to up to 5 gigawatt and also 2.5 gigawatt of TOPCon cell technologies.
That's quite inspiring. My next question is, in a highly competitive solar energy market, what distinguishes Emmvee from other players in the industry, both in India and globally?
So MV people, we stand with the transparency and the material, the components what we use and what we commit to our customers, and the quality of product what we supply to them, and the product what we have supplied, it is almost working more than 18 years in the field as of now. So which is itself is the great comfort to my customers. And also only new thing what I have to say is that there is QRPVL. It is a global testing laboratory which takes about different manufacturers' product and tests the product. In that, out of globally 4 companies has been selected, which is passed all 7 tests. In that, in India, we are the only company who has passed the test. So this is the few distinguished where our customers are very happy to deal with us.
Absolutely. So, if you could share with global renewable energy adoption accelerating, what is MV's strategy for scaling operations and entering new markets?
So we are from the day one, we are looking into the opportunities and the demand, and also what we are going to provide to the society. With these 3 angles, that is how we have started to enter into the European markets, then enter into the India. Now the next opportunity market is US. This is how we have done. In between, we have also supplied to other Asian countries like Africa and other countries. But presently, this focus is more on India and US market.
So, how does MV contribute to India's 2030 renewable energy goals and the global energy transition as a key player in renewable energy? If you could share.
So the ambition targets of 500 gigawatt by our the ministry or the Prime Minister's aim. So we are already initially it is all everybody thought that it is a very unlikely to reach the numbers, but today the reality is they may surpass the numbers. So in that we are very happy to contribute towards that level. We are contributing substantial numbers into achieving that 2030 renewable energy goal. And also we are putting our efforts to reach net zero levels, which the government of India is also planning towards by 2047. And also the hydrogen, and then the PM Kusum scheme, and then PM Suryagar Yojana. These are all the places MV is contributing the maximum.
So, solar is the future, and the renewable energy sector is seeing rapid technological advancement and policy support from the government. So, how is MV positioning itself to lead this dynamic environment? We could share.
So, the presently government support and the policies are very favorable. And with that, the FB is also growing into the rapidly to ensure that the demand will be met. And also, so that is how we have expanded our capacity. Presently, we are about 5 gigawatt of capacity. Now, this year itself, we are adding another 5 gigawatt of capacity of the modules, and we are also adding another cell capacity in addition to what we are having about 2.5 gigawatt. So this is what the contribution we are providing. Apart from that, the new technologies, either it could be backward and forward integration based on the opportunities we are able to tap of the market.
Okay. So one last question, if you could share what future you can see through renewable energy.
The future renewable energy, the next generations could able to see the clean energy. That's the what is required. Presently, the what the pollution and other things is happening with the aim of the prime ministers or the globally the on the climatical change. if we contribute, so our aim is to provide the better nature to our next generation people.
Thank you, Mr. Manjunatham, for sharing your insights. It was wonderful to have a conversation with you.
Thank you, Poonam. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.